No, I think that you want somebody who's trustworthy, who's really going to listen to you when you say what you're trying to get from this campaign, but who also asks the hard questions, who is able to kind of push back if you have an idea for creative. Your media professional is somebody that does this day in and day out. They know the media world. You as a customer know your audience. So you want to be able to work together with, both parties to make sure that I understand your audience and you understand that I know about what kind of creative is needed, what kind of messaging is needed, what kind of call to action is needed to make a successful campaign. So just someone's trustworthy, somebody who is able to ask you the hard questions and you're able to ask them the hard questions. Somebody who is numbers driven, numbers oriented, that stays on top of reporting, sends you reports, goes over them with you as often as you need to go over them to help you understand. This is a confusing world. I think advertising, and especially TV, is confusing, and especially as streaming TV evolves and people don't know how they're consuming media, they just know they're consuming it. So anybody who's able to answer those questions for you.
I think number one is finding trustworthy partners is a key thing. Making sure that you're talking to people that really have your best interest at heart and can guide you across a multitude of avenues, because there's just so many places that you can go. So it's very important that you don't put all your eggs in one basket either. So there's a lot of different avenues for doing advertising digitally, and you want to make sure that you're talking to somebody that has an understanding in most of those avenues.
So the account executive is the kind of the face for the client. They're talking to them, actually meeting with them, talking with them, and figuring out what they need. They get a client needs analysis and explain kind of what we're able to do. Then whenever they come back to us, we look at the budget that they're trying to propose and we say, hey, this is what we can do, this is the best way that we can do that. And we just build out whatever's going to find their audience for them.
So the account executive themselves, they would be the people on the front lines, as you would say. And again, I always hold the highest respect for them, as they have a difficult job. I mean, that's being another thing too, but they're really good at what they do. Very, very good at what they do. And they're going to be the point person between the external client and the support team. Because I always believe it here in terms of our company itself, it's sales, support. That's usually how it goes, sales and support. So they're on the front lines, making sure everything works right, and they're the middleman between the external client and support, make sure everything works the best. That's the account executive side. They do a great job of what they do. They go out and prospect. They make sure the campaigns run correctly, target the right people. They do a great job of doing that. They really do. To go to the other side of the fence, on the support side, there's a lot of different parts of that, because again, we mentioned earlier about digital. And we, of course, account planning and management and that stuff. There's the front end side of it, which is we're going to plan the campaign out, make sure it works the best. And then from there's going to be our backside, which is known as fulfillment. And fulfillment is going to make sure that does everything run correctly? Do we need to make any kind of make good plans to make sure all the impressions were bought, and everything else to make sure the client is 100% satisfied. That's the goal. So more or less, that's in a nutshell. I mean, there's a lot of different teams around the company, more or less, but all in all, though, that's pretty much the front end side of the nutshell.
So the account executive, we'll just give a little example. Let's say someone has $10,000 and they want to run for 2-3 weeks, and this is what they're trying to hit. If it's a restaurant, we're going to look at food and beverage purchasers, people that are actually going out, spending money on food and beverages, and we will look at their data with MR&I, look at when those people are watching, what type of media that they're using, if they're mainly streamers, if they're mainly watching cable, anything like that. And then we'll take that, figure out how much money to allocate to each product, and then sit there and actually build out the schedule and say, hey, well, we want to add in Monday Night Football, we want to add in any type of HPOs like that. And then we'll kind of bring it back to them, talk to the AE about, hey, this is why we did this is the research to back it, and here you go.